that makes me wonder, is Unicron good or bad? What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? My name is Alex Yu, and let's talk about last night. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 6, and in this episode, we're gonna talk about the end credits scene. I've been receiving a couple of questions about what happened at the end credits scene. What is that all about? Well, I'm actually a little bit surprised that I'm actually receiving these questions, mainly because I thought it's really quite clear. But for those that don't know, this episode is for you. So by end credits scene, I'm referring to that scene that takes place immediately after the movie just ends. You know, right after Optimus Prime's end speech, right after he flies up to Cybertron with Dragonstorm, and then it says directed by Michael Bay. And then you think the movie's over, but then there's an end credits scene, which is something that I really didn't expect, because the only time that any of the end credits scene ever mattered was never. Because when you watch Transformers 1, 2, 3 with Shia LaBeouf, all the end credits scene were really just stuff that was just thrown in that really didn't mean anything, except for that Starscream flying away scene. In the first one, the Starscream flying away scene was kind of cool, and it meant something. It meant that he survived and the story continues. Well, this end credit scene for Transformers last night is kind of like that. Somebody survives and the story continues. So let's talk about it. So the scene takes place in Africa, in the deserts of Namibia, and of course, this desert of Namibia is where the horn appears. The horn appears in several different locations. For example, in Namibia, in China, and in 4 other locations that I forgot, but they're coming out of the ground. And they're coming out of the ground at a pretty quick but slow rate. And what I mean by that is, I don't know exactly the exact speed it's coming out, but it says something like a meter for every 3 days, or 3 meters for every 24 hours, or something like that. I just can't remember. But it's still rising. And what's very interesting is that they only provide a little bit of information about that near in the first act of the film, and then you completely forget about it. Like, I'm just so focused on all the action and all the robot battles and all that stuff, and what Vivian Wembley is trying to do with the Merlin staff and all that. I've completely forgot about the fact that Unicron is rising. So yes, that is Unicron, or at least those horns are a representation of Unicron. Okay, Unicron. And then you see the scene where you have this female figure in these robes, these flailing robes in blue, walking along the desert alone. And then the first thing that came to my mind was, that's Quintessa. Who else could it be? That's Quintessa in human form. So that's her right there, and then she's walking towards the horns, and then she sees one of these I guess researchers, and he says to her, "Are you lost?" And then she says, "I wouldn't do that." Do what? Don't do that. Oh, what does she say again? She says, he doesn't like that. Who doesn't like what? Unicron. But I can tell you how to kill him. And then the scene ends. And then it's a big mystery for those that don't know what that is. But for us Transformers fans, of course, Unicron in the 1986 movie in G1 is the Planet Eater. But Unicron is not going to be a Planet Eater. Unicron is actually coming out of the ground, and that is Earth, just like he did in Transformers Prime. So, from what we understand from the movie, Quintessa, or rather Unicron, is the arch enemy of Cybertron, or Quintessa, or Cybertron, right? But Quintessa is trying to use the Merlin staff to destroy Unicron with whatever the staff can do, like fire this beam into the ground, and then to kill Unicron. That's Unicron. Unicron is Cybertron's arch nemesis. Okay, so Unicron is in the ground. And the end credits scene suggests that, okay, Unicron is still rising, but Quintessa still wants to kill Unicron. He's going to continue she's going to continue her mission to destroy Unicron, and she's probably going to recruit like a human human associates to help him out, because she can do that. If she can control Prime, she can obviously control a human. And also, you're probably wondering, like, how is she able to take a human form? Well, keep in mind, she is the maker, the creator of the Transformers, so therefore, she must have other Transformers technology. For example, Pretender technology. There was a Pretender, Alice, in Revenge of the Fallen. That technology is technology Quintessa is fully capable of doing. She's also able to warp, like create her own space bridge, just like the Fallen. Because we saw that when Bumblebee shot Quintessa before he went sting like a bee, she just disintegrated. But was she really dead? I wasn't completely satisfied or content with the fact that she was dead. I didn't believe she was dead at all. I just felt like, what? That's it? No, that couldn't be possible. What happened actually is that she used space bridge technology to warp herself out of danger. Just like how the Fallen can just teleport all over the place using space bridge technology. So she has that technology. She can create Transformers. She can use Pretender technology. She can use space bridge technology. And now she's on Earth as a human form, and she appears to be controlling. She appears to be about to control a human. It suggests that she's going to control a human, and perhaps she's going to recruit an army in an attempt to kill Unicron, and that is her mission. So that is what the scene is all about. That's all it really is all about. And it's kind of an Easter egg within itself, because you got Quintessa and you got Unicron. But what happens next? Well, there's this really great article, or rather not an article, an interview between Steve Weintraub from Collider.com and Lorenzo de Bonaventura, one of the producers of Transformers Last Night. And he actually asked a really, really good question, and that is, okay, so the end credits scene, there's going to be Unicron. Was that something that you guys have already planned out, or you're just leaving it open for anything that could happen in the future? So, it's actually, Lorenzo de Bonaventura actually says it's a little bit of both, but I believe it's more the latter, as in they just put it out there as a tease for, should they decide that they're ready to introduce Unicron, they can do it. But I don't believe that they actually have the groundwork laid out for them. All they have is what they have to go with that end credit scene. That's all I believe. I mean, I really believe that. I don't believe that they actually have the entire groundwork laid out for what Unicron is going to look like, what Unicron will like how big he's gonna be, how he's gonna fight, like all those little details. I don't think they have all that. I just think that it's kind of like, did you watch Aliens vs. Predator? I'm pretty sure some of you guys have. And what happens at the very end of the movie? It's a little bit of a cliffhanger, and that is the Predator flies to outer space after the other Predators rescue him, and then there's a chest burster, and then end credits. So basically what that means is that the chest burster can kill the rest of the crew, but we don't know if that's going to happen. They just leave it open in the event that they decide that they're going to make AVP2, which they did. They can use that as a tool to continue the story. So what they're doing right now is using Unicron as a tool should they decide they want to continue that story. Right now they're focusing on Bumblebee, and then the Cybertron prequel, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see Unicron and Quintessa in, and then there's a rumor of a Transformers film that takes place in Roman times. So that's all they got going on right now. As for Transformers 6, which is the follow-up to Transformers Last Night, I really don't believe that they know what they're going to do for that film. I don't think the writer's room made it that far into the future of the franchise. I only feel that they are they have Unicron available there. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they might not actually talk about, or rather have the next film, the Unicron film. I think that the next film that follows after Last Night could be a separate story with all new characters, but then in the background we know that Unicron is rising, and somewhere out there we know that Quintessa's out there, but I don't think that's the film for Unicron to actually happen. I think that Unicron is going to come out and show his full glory couple movies in. It's just like Thanos. I know I keep on referring back to Thanos and Avengers, but what they did is not only did they tease Thanos, but they never actually had Thanos fight the Avengers until a movie that's coming out next year in 2018. So they teased Thanos in 2012, but it's 6 years later where we actually see Thanos in Avengers Infinity War in 2018. So that's what I believe is going to happen. I think it's actually a waste to actually bring in Unicron without actually having an idea of what he's fully what the character is fully capable of doing for the story. So I think they should develop that story before they actually bring out Unicron completely. I think they should just keep on having the horns growing, but then bring in Unicron later on, a couple years later, or a couple films into the franchise, into this timeline. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think they should do. So anyways, that's the end credits scene. That's what that's all about. It's just a teaser for what's to come, and honestly speaking, I don't believe that they know what's to come. Right now they're just focused on prequel movies. They're just focusing on prequel movies right now, and I think that's a great thing because it expands the lore even more. It brings more development into the characters. It actually makes Bumblebee even more. It makes me like Bumblebee even more. So I think that's great. So anyways, yeah, we probably won't be seeing Unicron for a number of years from now, but at least we got to see his horns. And that makes me wonder, is Unicron good or bad? Is Unicron like Gaia? Where he's like Mother Earth? And Cybertron's kind of trying to kill that. Is Unicron actually good? I was confused, actually. I thought Unicron's bad, but anyways, Unicron must be bad. He's coming out of the ground. He's gonna destroy Earth in the process of coming out of the ground. So that can't be good. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. What do you guys think about anything that I've talked about? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. The idyllic life of these two is interrupted by the evil Decepticons. And how are they going to be able to deal with the problem without Optimus and without everybody else?